right? And so what's important is that the tenants in this building, right, and that the folks that live on this block, that's what's important. And to have people to, try to come in and change the narrative of what's happening, in this meeting is up to you, right? So if the tenants feel comfortable with having the folks in the meeting, I don't mind moving on with the meeting. It doesn't bother me, right? But the reality is that when we call these meetings for the tenants, we called the meeting because we wanted to have a meeting with you, right? Same meeting that, people proclaimed that we had in August and nothing happened, that don't live here is inaccurate, right? We just didn't meet with 25 at Velsor, but we met with 103 chancellors as well. But some things did happen. So I'm not precluded with that. But one thing I do want to do, right, because I do work in decency and order, right? Because I respect the nature of the people in this building, right? And so if the folks feel comfortable that live in this building, that want them to stay at the meeting or live here, just let me know, and I'll move forward, right? So if you're good, I mean, we're here tonight. We're here to talk about just 5 little issues. I see the superintendent here. Good to see him. His camera up. So I suspect that because of all of the things that went on in the building, folks thought that we were all coming out tonight and it was going to be some kind of shouting match. I don't operate those meetings, shouting and screaming and trying to get stuff like that across. Our main goal is to make sure that we hear what the concerns are. We move to try to address them and work with the folks to make sure that those things get done. Right? That was for those who were at the meeting in August. That is what we said again. But I do want to, just check in with the folks here. We do have our Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery that is here with us. Throughout the course of the week, we have been doing wellness checks around the community. I wanted to thank the Weequahic Historic Association who came out yesterday and organized a peace walk and your community street team who has been vigilant and walking the neighborhood as well as some other anti-violence groups that has been dealing with trauma and all those issues around it. And so again, we just wanted to thank many of you for coming out tonight, organizing, and just being able to just check in with some of the folks in the building, make sure that folks are doing well and things are happening and moving. So we're glad to have our captain with us, who I don't know if he's in position to want to give an update about what's happening and what's going on. But if so, here we do have the management here with us tonight. Code enforcement is here with us tonight. Just wanted to inform some of you who are here that we can be able to move on and have this discussion. There are some, I know folks talked about some of the folks in the building, the young lady who that helped out. I do want to personally thank some of the folks in the building. I don't want to mention any names now, but that was very helpful on Tuesday, providing information, letting us know what was happening. We talked to a lot of folks in the building on Tuesday while the incident was occurring, trying to find out what was on that phone chain. The reason we were back here is fivefold, really four, and then we'll be out of the way. One, I just wanted us to talk about really, as we spoke before, about creating a tenant association and a block watch. I know we talked about that before, had conversations with the brother here when we had that kind of conversation, and there was some folks who felt like most of the people in the building would not support it, would not come, but I think it's time that we created a tenant association, and those individuals that will participate, right, based off of even some of the things that happen and support it, they'll come out and they'll support. And I think we should organize around that. Those tenants who want to organize and work and create a tenant association, many of you know who you are. I think we should work around that. After the meeting, everything shuts down. We get a list, figure out what that looks like. I know yesterday we talked and we worked and created a lot of block captains in certain areas throughout the block. And we want to be able to create that here so that it's just not 25 Van Velsor working together, right? But it's also Van Velsor itself because there were 5 houses on the block that was also affected by, the shutdown in the area. And we want to make sure that communication in all was happening, right? From the houses to the buildings, right? We had some contact with some folks in the building, but to be honest, we had like 0 contact with the folks in the houses because of the way that it was shut off and closed off. We want to be able to make sure that those things are more intimate and that the building and the block is working together. So I want us, to be able to really talk about creating a tenant association, working that out. Those individuals who have a vested interest at heart to come together, organize your tenant association, begin to have your meetings, invite folks out, deal with issues, concerns that may be related to what is happening, even as we continue to, move through some of the things that is happening in the building, right? And I'll get to that. We'll go forward, go backwards and come back. But I wanted us to talk about that, creating a tenant association and also a block watch. Then I also wanted to talk about creating a phone chain in the building as well as on the block. I think one of the things that we found out that was helpful is because we have relationships with some of the tenants in the building, we were able to reach out to them, have contact with them, let them know what was happening from the outside, inside, what was happening around the perimeter. And then we were also getting information, inside from some of the tenants, making sure that they were fine and well in the condition of what was happening and what was going on in the building. And so me, being a former educator, I know I used to, be in school a lot. We used to have these phone chains, right? And so, if it snowed, I would have to call one teacher, the other teacher would have to call another teacher, another teacher would have to call another teacher. I think that the responsible people in the building that really want to work to get the building going again and moving again, if we created that kind of chain. I know it was happening and going on because some of the folks that I was talking to was letting me know, hey, we reached out to such and such, she's all right. We reached out to, this person, he's doing well. We reached out to this person, they're in the apartment, they're at work. This young lady comes in at this time. And so all of those things was important, they were helpful, and it played a lot into making sure that everybody was good. But fundamentally, what we found out, and even through our walk, is that everybody wasn't getting the same information, right? And so that's why, we invited some of the folks from off the block in the houses who are here tonight to share with us so that we can begin to work together, right? Because they feel like this is, part of their neighborhood, their block, and they want to be invested in what's happening and what's going on. So we want to, be able to share best practices in case of emergencies that may happen, where we're all working together, and if something is happening, we know how to deal with it. We know how to provide and to bring resources of support. And so we wanted to do that, and we wanted to make sure that was good. And so now I want to go back to come forward, because it seemed like everybody was excited and outraged and pointing about August. They had a meeting in August, and this happened in August. We had a meeting in August across the street, Good Neighbor Baptist Church. We met with 25 Van Velsor, met with 103 Chancellor. At that time, we came in the building after that, probably in June, when I was running. Then we came back in July. When we came back in June, the folks mentioned that there were issues. We brought in code enforcement. We brought the fire inspectors in. We brought folks in to do their work, right? And we know that code enforcement is an abatement organization. They're an abatement agency. The job of code enforcement is to come in, to look at issues, to look at concerns, and then to abate them, to make the owner abate them, right? Put information in court, make sure people follow up, do what it is that they're supposed to be doing, give them a time frame to do it. Well, in June, you were going through a transference of ownership. So this owner of the building, right? You were going through a transference in May. I believe it was May? March. Right. So you were going through a transference of ownership between the owners. And so while you were going through that transition, many folks still believe that, hey, we didn't know who the owners were, we didn't know what was happening, we didn't know who to pay rent to, we didn't know what to do in this instance. And so we decided to have a meeting to get all of these people engaged, get them involved, figure out who they were. We brought the owner to the meeting, begin to have the meeting, had the owner talk about some of the issues and concerns that was going on as it related to their transition into the ownership of the building. And then we really began to hone in and talk about some of the things that needed to happen in the building, the repairs that needed to happen, all of these things. Brother Bashir jumped up. He talked about how dark it was for the women and making sure that, you know, it's light and it's too dark. He talked about the issues with the back door and about people were coming in the back door holding. He said, if I'm wrong, y'all correct me. How people were putting stuff in the back door, not closing it, not shutting it, holding the stuff down. How, you know, folks were leaving trash in the hallway, not cleaning up behind themselves, just putting the stuff in any place. Talked about trying to make sure that the issues that were in some folks' apartments, how do we get those fixed and abated, right? And part of the issue was he indicated that when he came in as the owner, he was struggling in terms of making sure that folks were able to pay their rent or paying their rent on time, trying to figure out who owed, who didn't owe. And so at the end of that meeting, all of this is documented. You have the information with you, right? So documented. At the end of the meeting, we said, well, listen, these are the things that we need to get done. And we want to follow up on it to make sure that these things are done. We gave corrective action measures for 25 Van Velsor, and we gave correction action measures for 103 Chancellor, right? But if I'm correct, right? Yeah, if I'm incorrect, you help correct me. We gave those measures. We said that they had to get an exterminator, right, in these buildings immediately, both of the buildings, right? We also said that the issue with lighting in this building needed to be resolved immediately, that these floors needed to be cleaned and waxed and buffed up, that these back doors that folks complained about, that people kept coming in and out and using it as a doorway, they needed to be repaired, right? All of those things that we talked about. The lighting, when those things were done, the ownership stayed in contact with us, sent us information, sent me emails, this was done, this was done, this was done. But because I inspect what I expect, came over to the building, don't know what the superintendent at, because he was here with me, walked through, right? He said, oh yeah, the guys supposed to have came to the floors today, they was doing the floors, but this was happening, but they did the lighting, light was done, the extermination was done, we got all the extermination records. If folks, you know, can attest to it, exterminator was here, exterminator came through, lights were done, right? The information right here, everything that we did, the back doors, they put alarms on the back doors, right? We said the front door issue, the buzzers needed to be fixed and closed. They fixed the buzzers on the doors. I came here one day, stayed, walked through the building. I ain't gonna put nobody here on Front Street, but we were working the buzzers, right? Making sure that the buzzers was working, how they was attached to the phones. I was in the building. I was here, present, right? Making sure the buzzers was working, right? And then even we didn't even acknowledge it because the person didn't know where they were buzzing, right? And then somebody just let the person in. Went back to the back door, right? Went back to the back door, that was the issue, right? And saw somebody coming in the back door. And said, brother, you gotta go out that door. You can't come in here. I got cursed out, got fussed out, but I made the person go around. So they said, hey, the minute they right for cameras, right? And so, you know, we continue to fight with them and make sure that things are happening to get along this course. So all of the things that we asked for at that time, they begin to do. And then we sent something out and said, hey, you know, you got to get to the next part of your movement, right? And in the text, we said you need to start fixing what? The folks' apartments. Although we still had an issue, right? Because we never want to put people on Front Street about who paid rent, who don't pay rent, who should be paying rent. Whatever that issue is, I pray to God that y'all figure that out and work that out. I'm not putting nobody on Front Street telling what you can't do, what you shouldn't do, but there's some people in here that has not paid rent in a long time. And whatever that situation is, I pray to God that you work to try to figure that out.
I don't know why you talking about people not paying rent.
With the ownership, as we continue to work with him, that everything that we've been asking him to do and make sure that he gets done, that those things were done. From the changing of the lightings to somebody, went on Facebook and said he gave us Christmas lights and all of that. That looks great and it sounds great as a blurb on Facebook, but ultimately at the end of the day, there's still people in this building hurting. There was grandparents in this building hurting, unsure about what was happening.
Taking up a building management.
With their children, with their loved ones. People who couldn't get back in the building that lived here. So all of those kind of things, right, is nice for the cameras to look good for, but at the end of the day, we still here. At the end of the day, when Channel 5 leave, Channel 4 leave, Channel 3, and the cameras of everybody else that come that don't live here, you still here.
Right.
You still here. So that's why I'm here. I don't disappear. I don't scratch my own itch. I don't jump nowhere and do anything. I'm here to make sure that the issues that you had, meeting whoever the new owner was, bringing him in front of you, letting him explain what was happening and going on with him in his transaction and what was happening with the building. And when was he going to work to get some issues and some things done? And if I was correct at the meeting, I told him that the superintendent can't do everything. If I'm wrong, tell me I'm wrong. I said, you got to hire some people. Didn't I tell you that, owner?
Yes.
So you got to hire some people. You have to hire some people. Get the folks in here to do the work, because the super can't do it all. But he should be doing his job. Right? And we have to make sure that we do our job as a community to ensure the safety and sanctity of some of the folks that live in this building. There's some people that's been in this building for 40 years.
50 years.
50 years. And they still feel like they have the right to be able to live and to do the things that they need. And so that's why we're out here tonight, right? We work the Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery. So if anyone in here, because we all, experience trauma and grief in all different forms. Some of us try to act tough through it. Some of us, believe the tough way is to go. But there's some things that we all have to deal with, right? That we have to rustle off. And so that's why they're here tonight. So if anybody, feels like there's some issues and concerns that they want to talk about on the side, right, that happen, you could pull them to the side, see the organization after that and deal with it, right? Then I just want to bring the captain up. I don't know how much you can, go into, but just to give them an update on where you are, I'm going to ask the owner to come up after that and to talk to you about, where he is now in the midst of repairs and what needs to happen. Many of us know that after that day, right, when the SWAT team, the police came in, they went through the entire building, dumped out stuff. It was a mess in here. The ownership worked very hard that day to make sure that they cleaned the stuff up, got the stuff up out of here. Code enforcement was here that entire time, going through everybody's apartment. They came back the next day, made sure they got into folks' apartments to write stuff up, to get the issues. Now again, we have to understand, code enforcement is an abatement agency. They come in, there's a hole in your wall, hole on the floor, bad receptacle, wire loose, they write it up. Those write-ups go to court. They send out information for the owner of the property, whoever it is, to show up in court and to answer these things. You got this? Did you fix this? Did you do this? The owner comes in with his attorneys or whoever they have. Yes, this is the issue, but we need this much time to do it. Or whatever issue that they bring about, that's what they bring about. Whatever happens in court, it happens in court. Normally, they begin to move, and whatever the abatement that needs to take place, that abatement issue take place. Right? And so that's what happens in the area of code. So when people say, code enforcement came in here, fire people came in here, but ain't nothing happened. Unfortunately, the court system gives people time to abate their issue. Doesn't matter if it's in a building, if you are a homeowner, whatever the issue is, they give you time to abate and to deal with the issue. Right? So we've been struggling and fighting through some stuff and dealing with some issues, but we also have to make sure that we act as a village. If somebody comes to fix the door, we can't break the door. We can't keep leaving stuff in the door to hold the door open so that other people can come through. If I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong. Because that's what happened when I came here. Because I come to inspect what I expect. I don't show up when stuff happens, right? I don't chase ambulances. I come to make sure that the community and the village is safe. They said they fixed the door and the buzzers and stuff was working. We came to check every buzzer on the door. We was pushing everybody buzzing. Ask the person to come in. He coming in for work. I got to get to work done later. Trying to figure this out. Do it connected to my phone, sis? How do I do this? How do I work it out? We're working that out. Even with the tenants in the building, trying to figure it out. But if folks don't live here, don't buzz them in here. Let them reach out to the person that they believe that live here to get them in here. If they fix the door and put an alarm on the door, we can't keep breaking the alarm on the door, pushing the door open, asking letting folks come in, leaving an invitation to come open. They put a plate on the back of the door to stop people from grabbing it. We still got it going. Heard somebody the other day when we were coming in here at night, stopped and told me, listen, I got tired of hearing the alarm because it was going off so much because people were breaking the door. Right? This is a process. Everything is a process. Our responsibility is to walk people down into the best possible service that they can provide for our people in this community. Why? Because if you believe you live in this building and you deserve the best, then you should act that way too.
You're right.
We have to act that way. We have to act that way.
Everything you're saying is against the people that live here. They're not behaving right. It's their fault.
Share with us. I'm going to ask the owner to come up and have him have a conversation about where we are now and where we're going. And then after that, you know, if there's some questions or concerns from the residents, you know, we'll hear your questions and concerns. We still have code enforcement outside. They'll be in. You can ask Mr. McDonald, those guys to come in. They'll be in here. But I just wanted to take you back and bring you forward to let you know where we at, what's been going on. And I still encourage us to create that tenant association. Right? Now is the time to do it. To get people together, to organize a tenant association in the building and a block watch, you know, in the building. For those people who want to organize that, to get that going so that we can talk about not just issues that may be happening in 25 and Velsor, but also to deal with some things that is happening, you know, on the block or in our circle. We want to be able to, you know, to deal with that. So, Captain Houston.
Good evening, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Captain Robert Anderson. I've been with the agency for about 22 years. I have my community service officers, Officer Miranda, Officer Taylor, my executive officer. Lieutenant Phillips is here. We're all teams trying here to make you safe. Some of you may not know of us, but we want to get to know you. I like what the councilman said about the block wash and the tenants association. We can provide a lot of training for that, so whenever you're ready to do that, sir, we can help you roll that out with the community. We can also do security surveys. It seems, I wasn't here on August 25th for the initial meeting, but I'd like to offer, if you want any security assistance surveys, we can go around to your various apartments and dwellings and show you how to be a little more safe and secure in those dwellings. We're here for you 24/7, obviously. We have some business cards we'll pass out at the end of the meeting, and we want you guys all to feel comfortable coming to us. So if you do have any specific concerns or specific incidents that you may have been going through that we need to follow up on, please let us know about that. We also have a good relationship with the Office of Violence Prevention, which is we have a social worker at our precinct now for the last, was it 2 years now? So that's going on really well. Regarding the incident that took place here last week, obviously it's still ongoing. There's going to be court case. I can't speak too much about it. But as the councilman said, some community members stepped up and were able to provide timely information that was able to help us save some lives. So we do appreciate that. Obviously, we know some people are not comfortable talking to the police. We want to change that narrative. You know, I've been working with OVP. Is it here from the street team here? We work with them all the time. OVP's here. Street team, right? Yeah. We meet with them every week. So we're trying to change that narrative and come together as a community, the police and the various community organizations. So if you have any specific questions.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
How was law enforcement able to force us out of our apartments at gunpoint? Rifles pointing at us on Tuesday. And I'm asking for a warrant and just like get out.
In the exigency of that circumstance, we don't have the specialized units that go forth. There's an armed perpetrator in the area, and they.
I know that, we're all aware of that, right? But we were in our apartments, right? And they're coming with rifles, telling us to get out of our apartments. And I'm like, where's the warrant?
Well, like I said, that situation is something that is existing in the law that allowed us to do those things. We did also.
And you didn't know where you were going to a specific apartment?
A step-by-step approach is called for. You have our emergency services unit that deals with that, and they go apartment by apartment.
So they don't need one?
Not in that case. In the case of what happened in that scene, they do.
My question is, and I asked you towards the councilman, but I know it's not, he's not a police officer. I live next door. I have yet to hear a police officer able to come by, walk through my property, have been on my yard. Even Tuesday, I think the greatest fear I have, which I have empathy for everyone who's in this building, because I feel they was in true immediate danger, would be that close. And out of all of these houses, not one of us have heard anything from a cop till tonight when you're here today. Have heard nothing. And that's a great concern to say that. I can only imagine if people come to their door and are parked with guns they fix, but the other houses end up nothing. Not a word, nothing, not a knock on the door. God forbid for to have been my house. I don't know. And I'm in the immediate, my backyard is the parking lot. Those guns were heard immediately by me. I have a 3-year-old daughter. I have a husband. None of them can come home, but I don't know officially if I'm on lockdown. I'm hearing the news to give me information. I'm getting text messages of unofficial information. I just think, what can we do to improve that? I hope that this never happens again. I hope it's like a saying, it's a once in a lifetime thing event. But how do we improve in 2022 that I can get an alert from my job to tell me don't come in because something's going on, but we can't get one for this neighborhood? Y'all have cell phones with zip codes. Come on, something has to be better.
And I appreciate your concerns. That's exactly what we've been talking about in the aftermath, because there's a lot of things that could be done better. As the councilman mentioned, maybe some sort of phone call system where you give the block watch captains. This way you prevent the misinformation getting out there. And you also give out information that's good to secure people and make people feel safe and let them actually know what's going on. So we definitely, we hear your concerns, and it's something we talked about in the very early hours after the incident. We definitely have to do better with that. But it's definitely, I think that's a great idea. We get to call this together. Block watch captains and filter it up through like a little informal chain of command through the community. And that gives us better information. They can filter it out, because they know the community members better. They say, hey, listen, we heard this, this, and this. And then we can better act on it and better inform you before, during, and afterwards.
So we also can't give out misinformation. So let me just say that. So we can't give out misinformation, which is what was happening. There are people people were giving out misinformation. Press was giving out misinformation, and individuals who are seeking to create as many problems as they possibly can was giving the press misinformation as well. There is no robocall that only isolates this area. There's no such device as that. The robocall goes to the entire city, like we do snow or garbage issues or any emergency, we do a robocall. Because Arduna and communications does it. They go through the entire city. So there's no specific technology that we have as a city that isolates this specific area. That doesn't happen. What did happen is that the police went into the households in this area to try to.
I live next door, Mayor Rock, I live next door. I'm honest with you.
Let me tell you, I was out there. So could they have missed some houses? Absolutely.
You miss all houses on the block.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people running into the building here. And let me tell you what happened. On the night that this whole thing happened, right? As the cops, SWAT, whatever, they were on their way out and people started coming in. I approached, my husband and I approached one of the SWAT members and one of the police officer members. We spoke with more than one person. So it didn't come from just one person.
And you saying what now? I'm trying to hear what you're saying.
Okay. I'll get to the point
Okay,
if you just let me finish, okay?
Your husband
My
here,
husband
baby.
and I spoke with, there you go, there he is. We spoke with a couple members of SWAT team and Newark Police Department.
Inside the
No, right outside the door, right outside the door. And to be more specific, if you'd like to see, if the chief of police would like to see, I have videos to back up. Okay, Captain, I have videos to back up what I'm saying, okay? They told us specifically, because we have concerns, we were gone all day, we weren't home. And given that what happened, and like you guys didn't, at that point, you guys didn't catch the guy, you know, the shooter, we were concerned because what happens is our apartment, the kitchen window is overlooking Chancellor Street, right? And there's a fire escape, and I have a small air conditioner unit in the window. How easy is it to kick it in and go into our apartment? So we approached again, and it's a key thing. We approached numerous gentlemen from law enforcement, not only PD, but SWAT team and stuff. And we said, listen, this is our concern. Did you guys, you said you cleared all the building, meaning you guys went into every single apartment?
They did.
We were told no, they didn't. So I said, so how can you say that you cleared all the apartments?
Right.
They told us, and again, it's more than one, more than two, more than three people. They told us that if they knock on the door and there was no response, and if they look at the lock and the lock wasn't tampered with, they just go.
You never closed the building?
You never clear. Let me finish. Do not stop me, please.
I'm not. I just want to respond to
Sir,
what you're
Mayor,
saying.
do not stop me because I need to finish. I need to finish what I'm saying. So most people, most of the residents, most of the tenants living here, right? They work for a living. Therefore, they weren't home when it happened. So apartments were locked. So the cops did not, and let me repeat, did not clear most of the apartments in this building. Therefore, you failed us. Newark Mayor's office, City Hall failed us, and police failed us because you didn't clear the building as you should. And at the end of the day, let me just stand up and let's make it loud and clear. We ended up spending the night with a shooter under the same roof because you failed us.
And then he got arrested next day in the same building.
Let me finish. Let me explain what happened. Can I respond now? Can I respond now? Is it okay?
Please, go ahead.
First of all, the police cannot just walk. First of all, we didn't leave the property. That's number one. So we maintained this property and its area, so we did not leave. We had the property and the area all the way to the next day. We didn't leave and come back. So when people are saying that, that's not true. Let me finish.
One meeting.
But you never. That's not interrupting. So please give me the same respect. Please give me the same respect. Please give me the same respect. As a matter of fact, when the call came in, the SWAT was actually in the building already. They were already in the building because we never left this community. We never gave the area up. The command post was there. I left, but SWAT ERT didn't leave. At 4 a.m., or another time, they maybe took a break and came back, but they left. They had this community, and the police were still outside in this neighborhood. So that's number one. So to say that we left and left the community here, that's just not true. That's not true. They checked the cameras to make sure that the individual did not leave or go back and forth in the building. That was what was going on. This information that I'm giving you, that the prosecutor is supposed to talk. Can I finish? I'm still talking.
That's for the information.
Bro, we gotta have one meeting.
I'm still talking. I know you're upset, but I'm trying to give you the right information.
Can I say this, man, real fast? Because I started this meeting off like that, right? And I said, we don't conduct meetings like that, right? The meetings that I conduct is gonna be professional, everybody's gonna be heard. That's right.
I'm sorry, man, go ahead, finish.
Yeah. Secondly, the police cannot just enter your apartment without a warrant. That's number one. So at the end of the day, when the police, they go up to apartments through probable cause and reasonable suspicion. If they believe the guy is in the apartment, they can enter or breach the apartment. The SWAT has to breach that apartment. When I was out there, I was watching them get warrants. I was watching them get warrants for phones, watching them get warrants for apartments over the phone, and doing it very quickly and very rapidly. So they did these things very, very
They're here to
quickly.
cap for the police, like you see. They're here to take care of the police, and they own this.
They get these things in hours, and 20, 30 minutes, as a matter of fact, so they can breach specific apartments. They breached some apartments, they put the little explosive device, and breached a couple of apartments where they thought he was, but they got warrants to enter. Other apartments, they knock on the door, they have to ask permission to enter the apartment, they have to ask permission to check the apartment. That's what they were doing. And some people let them in. As a matter of fact, I was in a command center, so when people shaking their head, I'm in a command center, I'm watching this. I know what's happening because I'm paying attention to it. People, they're talking to them, asking people. Some people let them in. There's information that we got. We got 2 people that are still apartments that people are in that we're knocking on, trying to get them out of the apartment, trying to get them permission to go into the apartment. So even when we said in the press, thank you to the residents who allowed us into their apartment, who left the property, who got on the bus and some didn't up to Weequahic High School, people allowed that to take place. This is a difficult situation. This is not a situation that people sat down and thought about it and made it happen. The best thing to me, despite all this stuff that's going on, is that everybody is alive. That's the best thing to me. Sure. The best thing to me is nobody's apartment was ran in unnecessarily. Nobody was in their apartment and it got ransacked by the police who busted in there and assaulted them, which happens in other people's communities. The police were thoughtful. They took their time. They made sure that if they went into somebody's apartment, that they treated those people with respect. They went in there, but for the most part, they did. I was in the command post, and I'm sure, and I watched them.
And I was here.
So there may be 1 or 2 people. I wish
Sorry, Mr. Mayor. Sorry, Mr. Mayor, but they did. It was no respect at all. I'm sorry. It was no respect at all.
Yeah, we're not, bro, we're not gonna have 90 meetings.
I'm not saying none. I'm saying what I saw.
Right.
I'm saying what I record. It's on record.
So when you have a question,
I'm sorry.
what you do it
They never cleared my apartment. And I gave the cop
trying to bully him.
to clear my apartment, and they never did.
He's trying to bully him.
I'm just telling you, my man.
He here to help him. He trying to bully him.
I asked them to clear
Calm
my
down,
apartment, and they never did.
They knocked on your door, bro. I told the police you wasn't home before they was about to kick your door
But I
in.
asked them in the
They're gonna kick
phone.
it in.
Before they was about to kick your door in, I told them we're not home.
Let me finish, please. I know you're upset, but I'm not. And I understand. The reason that I'm okay is because the assailant, he got arrested without incident. The police are arrived. Nobody else in this place was hurt as a result of it.
Thank God.
As a result of it, I think the police were thoughtful. They were considerate. Are there mistakes? Yes.
And they always find a gun. They find a gun in the water.
I'm not finished, brother. I sat here and let y'all talk.
I'm sorry.
Are we gonna have an argument? We can have an argument somewhere else.
I'm sorry.
Are we gonna have a discussion? We can discuss right here. Right?
That's how they bully him. They don't want him to talk, so they're just bullying him.
Right. So I didn't disrespect you. I don't deserve that back.
I would never disrespect you too.
So at the end of the day, I think the outcome was good. Are there ways? When I came here, I heard the captain say there are things that we could have done better. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. When there's information flying all over, we're not worried. When the information goes out, the people are trying to compete with the press and the internet and who's got the right thing out, and people got their phone out trying to, get likes on Instagram. Listen, that's not what we're doing. They had to download body camera video from the police to find out exactly what took place. Before we even make a statement about anything, we need to make sure what actually happened. And that's the beginning of that is about that. The first reports are just people out there saying all kind of stuff. The police are downloading body camera information, trying to find out what actually took place. What did they see? Where's this person? Where could he possibly be? Who did what? All of that is important. Plus, some makeshift videos, right? There's some people in here who were taking videos that we got information from as well. So at the end of the day, all of this plays into how we respond to what's going on. How we respond. We're not going to just send a random robocall out that may not be true. We're not going to do that. I'm certainly not going to send a random robocall out to say all this is going on. We don't even know what's happening yet. When I got to the scene, I'm trying to figure out what is going on here. I don't got time to talk to Channel 7 or Channel 2 or Channel 12. I got to find out what's going on in the neighborhood, in the building, in the community, how the police are responding. That's exactly what was going on at that time. And if they're evacuating the building, where are we going to put the people? How long are they going to be there? Will they have food? Will they have access to stuff? That's what the police were worried about. Talking to New Jersey Transit, getting the bus, escorting people out. Coming into a building like this, of this size and magnitude is difficult. Now they could have easily rushed in here, kicked down every door in this place, treated everybody like they were the actual suspect and criminal. They could have easily done that. They could have easily come in here, bust through the doors with battering rams, like in other places, escorted people out here with their hands up and knees on the ground. We could have done that. That's not what happened. That's not what happened, because that is not how the culture of this police department is going to be. That's not how it's going to be. Everybody in this building was not the perpetrator. So we had to do this meticulously and find out where this gentleman was at. Did they believe he was gone? I don't think so. That's why the police stayed here. That's why the ERT stayed here. They stayed here because they believed he was in it. But nobody left and said, let the guy spend the night in the building with the folks. The police stayed out here. Oh, I was out here for 7 to 8 hours. They was out here beyond that time. Some of them left at 4 a.m. 4 a.m. They were seeing some of them were here till 4 a.m. in the morning. When I got up in the morning and got a debriefing, the police was still in the building. When I was in Comstat, I got to Comstat a little after 10 a.m. When I left Comstat, an hour later at 11, the police were already in the building making an arrest because they were here already. They didn't come to this building. They were already in the building. So I don't want to, the context that people are trying to say that the police left and they went and had donuts and chilled out and left somebody in the building, that's just a lie. That's not true. That these cops stayed on this property and in this neighborhood until this guy was caught. Now, if they thought he was somewhere else, then they would have evacuated this place and went and searched for him all over the city. But that's not what happened. They kept their post right here until he was arrested. Until he was arrested. Until he was arrested. That's what happened. Now, there might be
He just yelled at another resident and he left.
Spoke to them or how they went in their house or they wanted them to do this, wanted them to do that. That's valid. And we should be talking about that because by God's grace, we don't want this to happen again, but if it happens to happen again, there are obviously things we can learn from this situation so we can do it better. This is not normal. We don't normally have people attack police officers at this magnitude, right? And we don't have all these agencies rush into our city like this at this magnitude. So for the police, Newark Police, to maintain operational command, to see this thing all the way out to the end and make sure they make arrests at the end, less than 24 hours without the guy being beat, murdered, shot in the head, the back, dragged out, or any other thing that happens all over the country. I think it's a win. And that's the way I'm looking at it. I think it's a win. And that doesn't mean that I don't think everything was right.
Because the police didn't break the law, it's a win.
We have our debriefings. We talk about what went wrong and what we can do better and what technology we have and what we don't have. People came here with all kinds of technology that we don't, that we have. I'm telling you, from me sitting in the command post with the FBI, with the prosecutor's office, with the chief of police, with the public safety director, with Homeland Security, in the bus, talking about these very things. So I know what the discussions were about, and I know how they were handling these apartments in this building and what the process and procedure is. And I got the Captain Casal, who's in charge of ERT, is a professional, trained individual, and he does a damn good job in these situations because I've been on scenes with him in multiple situations where police officers were shot entering a building and still pulling people out of there without
for the police union.
I know this because I've been there at these, so I have full faith that this was going to turn out. And I told them that when I got to the scene. I said, you guys are going to be 5 for 5 today. You're going to get this guy, it's all going to be good. And it didn't happen that day, it happened a couple of hours later. But they eventually did it. And I think it's because of their training and their commitment to catching this guy. Now, I don't know what was said prior to me or what was going on. I do know when I was in the thing that the prosecutor's office was getting warrants as we sat there over the phone. I know that. Now, I might not know particularly what it was for. I know they were getting warrants. They were getting warrants for phones. They were getting warrants for apartments. They were getting warrants for all kinds of things. They were trying to ping the phone and figure out where he was. They were trying to use technology and intelligence to find out where he was, as opposed to randomly running through everybody's apartment. They were trying to find him through technology and intelligence, which is the best way to do it, as opposed to busting in here, tearing the whole place up with all kinds of agencies. Because we had enough agencies to do that. We had enough agencies. We had enough people here to come to all these apartments and bust down the doors with battering rams and run everybody the heck out of here. That's not how it was done. They did it through intelligence, methodically and carefully. And was in conversation with folks the entire time. And I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay.
Was in conversation with folks the entire time. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, I know you had your hand up and I just did a monologue.
I did. You know what? I respect you. That's done is over. Therefore, the grace of God, neither of the three or I didn't even talk.
That's right, yes, ma'am.
But I feel we have cameras installed in this building.
I'm talking.
That don't work.
Why is not
Them right
these
there.
cameras workable? I say that I've been here long
They
enough
own
to
it.
know that these cameras used to work if they paid the bill. The intercoms used to work. The intercoms, you can't hear the people. You don't know how to operate the intercom. These are things that need
You're right.
to be done.
You're right, I'm gonna validate what you said.
Yes.
Because when part of the time that system in the building, so we can download the cameras,
Exactly.
so we can use the actual cameras that work, so we actually see what's going on through the
You have
cameras.
this-
So it didn't work automatically, it didn't work automatically. So that's true.
It is. And
That's
when I
true.
say that time and time again, we are responsible to take care of one another. I know that. But management, owners, or whatever, they're supposed to do what they're supposed to do to give us these
Right.
safety things.
Right. I think these guys are new too, right?
Yeah, but you're not new being a manager.
Okay.
You're not new being a
I'm just stating the
manager.
facts. Whether you-
Okay, the
whether-
intercom.
Taking out for the buildings and the police. That's all you're taking out for, the owners and the police.
I can't even hear. The
Yes.
other intercom used to work. Used to be able to buzz it in, and you knew who was down there. The cameras. You see these up here?
Right.
These are cameras. They don't even have to install the cameras. Pay the bill. This is technology. Nothing.
Yeah, so let's call him up now, Ms. Burger.
Yes.
Let's call the owner up.
Yes.
And again,
Well, you know, before y'all get into that, I'm here, I'm not here every day.
I know
So
it. I
if you
know it.
got something for me, then ask me. You know, I'm gonna ask whether right or wrong, I'm responsible.
listen, if you have something, if you have
Let me grab her first, and then you have, she got her hand up. All right? That's all right. Go ahead, man.
I ain't gonna waste all my energy and time with beating down the police because this block produced a minimum. I've been in this building almost 40 years. This block alone produced a minimum of 15 officers for the FBI down, including myself. Now, I say that to say, you was in the command post, but we right here live on the scene. I could see. I think more people were shocked because this neighborhood is known for housing law enforcement officers.
Right.
This is not a neighborhood you won't come to and think you're gonna have a shootout with the police. Because even the drug dealers in the neighborhood know this neighborhood is a law enforcement hub. They born, they raised, and they're bred in this neighborhood.
Right.
So I was not shocked to look out my window and see them running from around the corner to respond to the scene. Of course, me, myself, I don't have my firearm right now because I definitely would have responded to the safety of my neighbors.
Right.
So they were on the scene. I could see them out my window. I knew something wasn't right when I saw the police car parked in the driveway. And in 40 years, I ain't never seen the police car parked in that driveway. Never. So I knew there was something not right.
Right.
Was there things that could have been done differently?
Yes.
Yes. It's hard to prepare everybody in law enforcement for active shooter.
Right.
We got a lot of rookies, people. Everybody ain't been through the ringer, and everybody ain't lived life.
Right.
So you're gonna get some mistakes. There's gonna be some mistakes made. There's gonna be a lot of things done that shouldn't be done, and you're gonna get a lot of gun-ho people. But it's all called about participation,
Right.
cooperation.
That's what it is.
When they knocked on my door, was I so rapid to open my door? No.
Right.
You know why? I've been through some things. I've seen a lot of things in life.
Right.
Even though you go and put on your uniform, but when you take it off, hey, I had to ask the brother myself. Ho, put that, you gonna put that down? You ain't gonna shoot me. Like, you asked me to open my door. I didn't ask you. I definitely wasn't coming to open my door. I mean, mine. Come on in. Do your job. Everybody got a job to do the role of that. But there are also things that
Management.
made it obvious to me that we ain't been through these things before.
Right.
We ain't drilled for this type of thing before because it's unexpected.
Right.
You gotta start being more proactive than reactive to the environment.
I agree with that. So you're talking about
So everything went the way I expected, because I saw some senior officers roping a couple of people in who, you know, might have got out of control, but there was somebody to
calm down.
pump your brakes.
Yeah.
This ain't that. This is not those type of people.
Right.
Here, get under control. Like I told my neighbor, hey, they kicked on your door. I watched them. I was in the hallway. Oh, don't kick on my neighbor's door. They ain't home. They work. They got a job. Oh, they ain't there? No. How I know? Because my son knows he but at the people. So he in your house. He at the people. Watch every noise. Am I concerned? No. We got a steel door. You got to come with the battery ram to break in my apartment. You ain't just getting in. You might get in the windows next door, but you ain't getting in our house.
So there's a couple. I'm gonna tell you exactly what happened from the beginning to the end. But it's all you guys understand that when the police are going through this building, they don't know if the guy is in your apartment or not.
There you go.
Right? They don't know if you're lying or telling the truth or whatever it is. So they on alert, especially since a guy has already shot 2 police officers.
You ain't telling me nothing.
Right. So they already on edge when they coming in the building. But they try
Apologists for the police.
And they know what the expectations are, right? To do that in a very methodical way without violating people's rights, without doing this, without doing that. May some of that have happened, sure. You know, but to the extent that we in here having a whole other kind of press conference, thank God, right?
We also deal with a uniquely designed building.
That's right.
Some people say they can walk up backstairs and walk the whole building, and it's not so.
That's right.
You got
And they found that out.
And the hard way. I can tell by the look on their face. They found out the hard
The
way.
police officers came to this building because they got identified, because they were told that somebody fitting the description of the guy that we were looking for presently was in the vicinity of the building. These are cops who responded to a dispatch. These are police officers in a car that responded to a dispatch that's been on the force for less than 2 years. They responded to a dispatch. The guy was sitting there 2 o'clock in the morning, smoking weed, sitting on the beach chair with sunglasses. Okay, they obviously don't know that. Somebody told, apparently, I don't know if you saw that, anybody else saw that, but at the end of the day, apparently somebody must have, one of those days, must have got tired of seeing it, if that's what was happening. The lady said, proactive still reactive. Everybody in the building was going, this guy sitting here. Everybody didn't call. Somebody did, but not everybody. And when you saw him, you might have should have called too. But at the end of the day, who do we call? You call the person. You call the people that person called in order to get the police here. That's 911 or 6,000 or 1-800. Let me finish. Somebody else might have called you. Y'all even call the director and say, look, go down and look. That's true too. That's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother issue with management and landlord and super. And knowing who's supposed to be and who's not supposed to be. I don't have anything to do with that. What I'm saying is, somebody made a call. Those officers came to respond to the safety of the people in this building and ran into this guy coming around the corner while he was leaving this building. That turned into what we are now discussing now. They did not expect that. They did not come here for that. They came here because somebody said they identified somebody who looked like a picture that we put out based on some other stuff that they were doing. So they already are on edge. A person that has a gun. So people come here, let me finish. You come here to that situation, they're already on edge. That's why there are a lot of things that are going to happen building-wise that I can't get into because I don't represent the building and I'm not here to represent the building. I'm not here to represent the management, the owners, or the building. Never talk to them about it. I don't speak for them. I don't represent them.
Don't they sound like you've been representing them? They sound like you've been representing the whole time.
To make sure the residents are safe in this community. That's it. That's it. And if we could, we immediately after the next day, when I heard all this stuff, the next day we said code enforcement through here. I don't know if they went to everybody's apartment, but they came here. They went to the apartment and said they could get in, just like the police.
But they comfortable as hell right there. Those are owners. They comfortable as hell. They ain't got no problem.
And we can't take gas in the way that we wanna take it.
And they just put it back on because y'all came last week. So today, Friday, they sent out an email saying that they're gonna change the board suspiciously right after the board meeting. Today, the day of the meeting that y'all have posted for days, now it's finally lukewarm.
Oh, you want to take a shower?
People haven't had hot water literally
Well,
in
they
months.
laugh.
So that's why honestly, we
They don't
respect
care.
all of this and we thank
They
y'all
don't
for
care.
that, but they need to talk. Because this, honestly, yes, that man did something horrible, but he wouldn't have been able to do what he did without the black, what management from Hansburg to Kill to Field Velsor, and we have not ever had this issue.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
So,
Mr. Mayor, and the mayor.
Everybody move to the south.
Disrespect him. You can't disrespect him. But owners need to speak now. We've been going through things.
Yeah, I ain't saying nothing. Let them talk.
Right, so, listen, guys,
Come on, Eli. Where you at, Eli? Come on. You said you didn't know what was going on.
Don't prove you a man or it's weakness, actually. And watch each other do that, it's weakness.
Your councilman here, respect them. We need service in this building. We paying our
We
rent.
need service.
We need service. We need hot water.
everybody in here.
I'm paying.
Damn, son. Damn. Everybody in paying rent.
We go. So because of that. God, can we ask God to come up?
Yes.
Go ahead. Let him talk about where he is.
Comfortable as hell. He has no worries. He know they ain't gonna do nothing to him.
And again, like we started off the meeting, we gotta be respectful of each other, man. Right? We gotta be respectful of each other. There's a lot of folks in this building I know. I know personally some folks in here I coached, I grew up with. We gotta be respectful to each other.
You have to, because it ain't intimidating, you should just talk. It doesn't make any sense to act. This is actually silly.
You the one that just said people ain't paying rent. You just said that.
I just wanted to say first, thank you to the police because I'm pretty sure you probably didn't hear that enough, and you heard a lot of other things.
Who answered
But
that?
I'm not here to kiss up to you or anything. I just want to say thank you because you got my wife out of here safely. She was home, you got her out of here safely, and I do appreciate that because I wasn't home and you guys did that. That's the
It's always that 3%.
Second thing I want to go back to pertaining to this building, which I think is the root of the problem, and I'm pretty sure you could answer this. How secure is this building? In your professional opinion, and have you made recommendations to the owner how to make it more secure? And I'm not talking about the door being open here, or somebody leaving the door open, because when I leave or when I come out and I see the door stuck open, I close the door. All right, I'm sure other people do that here. The back door, if I'm taking the garbage out and the door's open, I close the door. I'm only one man. However, the side door down here, there's no lock, it's insecure, you can come in off the street and it's been like that for a while. Have you guys made recommendations to the builder owner how to make this building more secure?
That's why I mentioned at the outset, we want to do security surveys, so we're still going to do that. Like I said, I wouldn't give the August 2015. So, I'm going to set something up, we'll come back, we'll one by one, and see what we can do to make it more secure, what you can do, if you ever have another police, go from there. But we have, like I mentioned, there's a lot of places in the south, all over the city, that need the same kind of services. So I'd like to be set up with it. People that more, package, in the building, we're not going to actually make it stuff. So I definitely want to down here, with police here, so we'll definitely hear people work something up. And then, like I said, we'll put out some flyers, maybe how to, when police come, definitely have another encounter like that. you know, what's expected of the police and what's expected of you guys also. So we can definitely get something set up with that. But we have not done it yet. We will do it.
Well, the first thing is the cameras.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And put one around the premises,
So
more
we need to have more
cameras. Get those to work and put
when we
more.
got here.
Yes. Yeah.
And stop.
And make sure they work on
And you
continuous
can see
basis.
who's breaking
Breaking the back door, that's right, that's right.
They fix it, 10 minutes later, they break in the door again.
Say that again?
They fixed the door, I've seen it. They fixed it 20 minutes later. They kick in the doors. These are the people that live here. You got nasty ass people in here that don't care about us. This is our home. This is this man's business. We eat and we sleep here. We don't respect where we live. And if you don't pay your rent, what happens? You get, what do you call that thing? Evicted. But this is your home. You are living here, you have your children here, you're eating here, you're sleeping here. I've seen it, where people come out and leave their garbage at the back door. Don't put it in a damn dumpster. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. We gotta respect ourselves in order for somebody else to respect us.
That's right.
Sure, I'm sick of it.
If you got cameras, you can see
You
how
got
far.
cameras, yes. You got cameras here.
You can see
You-
everything.
You'll see who's doing
Whenever
it.
it's pointed, the finger is pointed at the residents, that's when they
We're
have.
gonna let the owner talk about.
And hot water. Hot
Good evening, everyone. Everybody. We'll get to the point right away. We know there is a problem with the hot water, and we have tried to fix it. I was personally here, I think it was 2 weeks ago. We called whenever created the ticket online or gave a complaint to the superintendent that they don't have hot water. I was in the boiler room, we called all those tenants, everybody said they have hot water. Let me finish. The machine that we have here is going on and off. We fixed it many times. We realized that it's not functioning good. Some people have hot water, some people do not have hot water. We ordered a new machine as an effect of COVID. It's still taking time to get it. We are trying to rush it. And we hope to have soon a new machine. And besides that, any other problems, the cameras, we had already a company here looking for the cameras. We are trying to change to actually cameras themselves because it's extremely not clear. And that's the two things, I think, the issues that I have heard. If there's anything else that needs to be addressed, I'm willing to hear, write it down, to do what we did in the past. Whatever was addressed, was asked to do, we did it. We were trying to satisfy everyone in the building. We have spent tens of thousands of dollars on the property in exchange with all the respect to those tenants. Some of them did not pay rent. Some of them are sitting here having a balance of $10,000, $15,000. And we are still trying our best, trying to get the property in a safe position, in the safest as possible, trying to do the most as possible. So we're here to take notes, whatever is needed. Hot water, we know, we order a new boiler. The cameras, we know, we had a company ready, it's working on it. We're waiting to hear. We have a property manager with the councilman. We'll take notes from everyone, whatever is needed, and we'll try to do whatever we can.
So let's put some time frames on some stuff. Like we did before, we're gonna put some time frames on some stuff so we can move. So here's the first thing that I'm gonna say again, right? The superintendent can't do this work. You have to hire some contractors. Right? You have to hire some folks, right? Right. You have to hire some folks to
Did you get him?
make these issues, right?
Did you get him?
And, right.
Yo, you're like he undocumented
So
too.
now, just to
That's
talk
crazy.
about it again, the back door piece, again, I mean, it has to be repaired again, so you have to fix that, right? You have to fix the back door.
It's a $600 every time you come.
We understand it, but we have to fix it, and then the cameras, right? So we're
Boy,
gonna,
keep drinking this water. He don't even care.
you guys going, y'all gonna meet by yourself, or y'all gonna let us get to these questions? Ms.
I
Howard.
want to ask a question to this owner. My film was leaking since Friday. I kept calling the super. I sent them, touched the little file, and told the staff, I asked him something, number straight to him. Okay, you know what I heard from him? 250 Saturday. And then when I called your office, they said, push this number for maintenance. I don't know what language they was. It wasn't American. It was either Spanish, Russian. I didn't want to leave nothing because I didn't know what the hell they were saying. So you need to get that emergency number fixed and have number 1 for English. Go down the line 2, 3, 4, whatever other language you want to put. Because it didn't work for me. That's what I'm saying.
So we're straighten that out, right? Your emergency number and the contact number, right? Change the language so people can know who to contact if they can't get in contact with the superintendent. Also, there was an issue about making sure that people got invoices.
Right.
Right? That you were supposed to work on making sure people got invoices.
You don't even
I got
remember.
bills for
Right?
pennies.
So people want to make sure that they got invoices. So the camera system, right? We should work to try to have this abated, right? Is 2 weeks a good time?
No. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years.
For ask a question, just raise your hand and I'll point you out. We ain't here to fight each other. We're not here to fight each other.
Right.
This is the wrong crew. We're not here to fight each other. Right? You had a question, sis. Go ahead.
I don't have a question, I have a statement.
Go ahead.
I've been in this building since 2000. Please don't record me. I don't want to
Say no more.
Say no more.
I've been in this building since 2020. They took management of this building in March. They put up posters on the building, how to pay your rent online. We promised to have clean lobbies, working elevators. We're going to come to everybody's apartment, clean everybody's apartment. I have a screenshot of how much I complain, which is every month, several times a month. I text the super, he turned his phone off. I called them, whoever Eli is from Loomis Management.
Eli right here.
Open the ticket, close it, don't reply. I have mold in my bathroom, which has been there for almost a year.
Eli.
Code enforcement came out several times.
Eli.
I told the super, he came in my
That's Eli right there.
Trying to fix it, never came back. In this lobby, right here that we all sitting in, when you come out the elevator, it's dead cockroaches on the floor for days. I take pictures of it. I send it to them. Y'all make so much money off this building, and y'all can even hire a cleaning service? This building is too big to not have a service in here cleaning this building.
And it used to be clean.
The elevators.
Creators
Terrible.
kept it clean.
All y'all work on
Yo, Eli told me he didn't know about none of this. Eli said he came for the action.
I've never missed a payment and never been late since I've been here. But you like to bring up people not paying their rent. So I'm one of the ones who pay their rent, and I should have to suffer like this.
That's right.
Where you going, Eli? Come here, Eli.
I look at my phone.
You trying to run.
Everybody don't live like you. I work hard.
One
The
minute.
fact that I am uncomfortable with even inviting my family and friends over, because it's so embarrassing to come into this lobby. It smells horrible. Nothing is done. So we gotta keep complaining, and we get fixed. Oh, we got some lights. What about our apartment? Right. Our apartment, my kitchen do not have a radiator. It's freezing in my kitchen in the wintertime. I literally texted Super on October 24th, can you turn the heat on? It's cold. I have to buy heaters to put inside my apartment to have heat. Why? I pay my rent on time. Never miss a day, never leave.
Take the mic.
You need to treat your tenants better.
You don't want the mic.
Everybody knows you know my apartment.
She should say
But you need to treat your tenants better. You're making money off of us, and it's the crazy thing is that you only fix up apartments when people rent. That's the only time y'all come here and fix an apartment. Soon somebody moves out, y'all fix it up for 2 weeks to move somebody out. But us who can live here all the time can't get now one complaint fixed or closed. That's not fair to us. That's all I have to say. Y'all have a nice night.
Thank you. Don't go anywhere because we got to get your information.
She out. Yeah, she don't want to kick it. She out.
Red shirt. I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, this elevator right here. I put tickets in. I've done everything. This elevator, man, yo, you don't know if it's gonna work from day to day. I come in here carrying cases of water, man. I do not feel like lugging water up 5 flights.
The fourth floor. We came in here the other day. There is something that was written up. We were here the other day.
Yeah.
On the elevator, there's something that happens between the 5th and 4th floor. Or 6th floor.
Yeah, but that's fun though because that's how I'm fixing it. They tell you to bang on the thing. Man, why I gotta do that again?
You shouldn't have to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Drinking some more water.
Door don't close all the way on the second floor. That's
Right.
And the button is broken on, so whenever
Right.
you click on the
And then
fifth
people
one, you
people are
can't
punching on
get
it. People are punching on it to get the red light. So that we experienced that the other day. That's also in the write-up with Code. So when Code was here, the 3 days, right? They were very extensive in going through everything. We had the fire folks out here as well. We had armed. We went up and down the elevator numerous times, right? We put one person on. We put the Nez on. Got him trapped because we wanted to make sure what was happening, what was going on, right? To make sure what was happening and what was going on with that. So they're aware of that. They got fined on that. They had a citation about that, and they're gonna work to correct it. You have to correct these things, right? That's the importance of these meetings to begin to try to correct and work, and especially with the people that are doing their due diligence. Right? You have to respect that. You have to respect that.
Who's taking notes on the landlord side? I don't see anybody writing anything down.
The workers over there.
Okay, make sure that.
Yeah. No,
Eli ain't taking no notes.
I have those.
Eli.
And there's an email that's going to go out.
Take some notes, Eli.
That talks about what we talked about today, these issues and all of the things that are happening. So we want to make sure that stuff gets done.
Again, getting back to what happened to young man here.
Don't record.
But it's still all related. It's everything related. It's all related. This man and I was seeing this guy every day. He could have popped up. I know he knows who he was talking about. When he came out, when he was in the hallway, he knew who he was talking about. But luckily he didn't say nothing. The mother knew. The mother talked to me. She said, my son, this is early August. My son is having a mental episode. I said, call somebody and talk to somebody. She said, I want to, but I can't. Ah, my God, there he is. She backed the car down Chancellor Avenue into Burger Street, took off. I could see this. All right? The man is sitting here every single night with some Elton John sunglasses on, the beach chair, with a portable red dress on, a portable speaker on, smoking weed, just sitting here. Every morning, 2:30, 3:30 in the morning, everybody in the building had to see the guy screaming. All right? Nobody said nothing.
So, and we're gonna work on that, right? We got a 2 week, we got a 2 week day.
Somebody did say something. It might have took too long, but the reason why we was even over here is because somebody did say something in this building. Somebody did say something. So when y'all say nobody ain't say that, that part is not true. Somebody took walls. I mean, finally, your band didn't say something, but somebody else said something. Finally,
Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a question to the owner. The hot water issue has been going on ever since you guys bought the building, and that was back in March. And what you just said about how you ordered some parts, you ordered a new boiler, whatever, and you're waiting because of COVID. You can only blame so much for COVID, sir. It's been going on since March, and we've been hearing the same exact song since March. I would like for you to be a little bit more specific as far as timeline, as far as something, anything. You can't keep pushing that issue back, on the back burner. It's been going on since March. That's number one. Number two, as far as the heating goes, I live in the back of the building. I will give you my apartment number later if you wish to know where I live. The heat, when it's on, it's outrageous. It's to the point where last winter, and even now, when the heat is on, I have air conditioning units sitting in my window. I have fans on, I have air conditioners on, because the heating is unbearable. Past the third floor, there's no heating at all. So you need to fix that. And so far, you're throwing money out the window. That heat is obnoxious. It's disgusting. You sweat like a pig, excuse my language. Then you go to take a shower and you can't because there's no hot water. How can you live like this? How can you say you're staying here, you guys bought this building in March, and you actually have the nerve to look these people in the face and say you bought the boiler, but you're waiting because COVID. You know about this issue. You know about this issue since March. How long can you wait for a boiler, sir? Please be more specific.
You don't want the mic.
We pay rent. I understand, and I sympathize. I understand, and I sympathize. As far as people who don't pay rent, that's not my problem. And that's not, if people who pay their rent on time, who live here for a very long time, such as myself, and so many really nice, kind, hardworking people here, should not have to pay for it, okay? If you're trying to save money on hot water because some people don't pay rent or whatever, then you know what, then honestly, shame on you. But be more specific.
The question is about modulating the heat in the building, right? One, when the heat is working optimal. And then two, trying to find out, come tomorrow, not tomorrow.
Get another one.
They need a larger boiler.
You need a larger boiler. That's what they need.
So, just to give you that, we don't save money when we don't put in a boiler just because water is much more expensive than no boiler. Because so if you don't have hot water and everybody keeps on running the water, it costs me much more money. So the point from not changing the boiler is not because saving money. Absolutely not. We ordered one, I think last week. They said it can take 15 to 21 days to get one. So hopefully by 2 weeks we should have everything done. We did order a much bigger one. If you're familiar with it, I think what we have now here is a 50 BQ, and we ordered one with a $500,000, which is 10 times the amount.
8 months to order that shit.
With power to give hot water to the problem, to the two tanks. So hopefully that will be resolved. I was not aware about the heating problem that you mentioned before. We'll have to relook and figure that out because it's a big building. And we'll try to get it done tomorrow, get it somewhere in the year to see what counties and how.
I actually have a super in my
Hey, Ron, he has a question. He has a question.
I have a question for you. When you leave here and you go to your home, you have hot water. So you want us to wait 21 days till we obtain hot water? That's right. You do me a bigger favor. You let me stay at your house, and your hot water. You stay here for 21 days, and then you see how it is, and like she said, why is it not regulated? Okay. Why is it not regulated?
Don't whisper.
We're tired of excuses.
Yes, we are.
Tell them y'all can't hear them.
Let them talk, man. Let them try.
So in the meantime, I know that as of my information, maybe I'm wrong, I don't think all the tenants are here, but according to the information that we are getting, There's some tenants are having, some tenants are not having. Some tenants have some days, some days they don't have. The machine is operating. The problem is that it's not operating enough strong. Like I mentioned before, it's only a 50,000 BTU and it's working 24/7. So the machine, at some point, it gets broken. We fixed a few parts. We have spent around a few $1,000s into that machine in the meantime until we get a new one. What I do want to offer is, I did not talk to my office about it. We're gonna have to figure out a way how to do it. If there's a problem with, if a tenant has a problem with their hot water and they don't have hot water, we can try to figure out a way how to give them, we can try to rent maybe out. We're gonna have to talk to the counselor to see if it's doable, but in terms of cost, I don't mind renting a room or two in a hotel where tenants can do their shower.
We did that last week.
Okay, so I can't. Okay, so I'm not gonna do this. Thank you.
We did that last week. You stayed at the hotel on the airport.
Okay, besides that, border cameras. And that specifically have problems with more. Hot water, cameras, and heating not being.
I'm about to say, you know what was going on. You don't know anything about this building. Look at Levi right now. Talking about you know anything about what's going on in this building. Your little punk ass lie. Huh? Got people in here taking showers in cold waters. Motherfucking Levi. Look at this thing. Y'all see him? He's the one that got Kyrie suspended from the NBA. It's him. Levi. Look at him. Look at him. He about to run again. Punk ass.
This is not the best of us. And then when we try to engage and really get other tenants and people involved, this is where they get frustrated, right? This is where they get frustrated and don't want to be involved, right? We even have folks here that's from the block that want to engage and help out. This is not the best of us. This sister been waiting all night. She had a question. Yeah.
I just have a question. I've been here for 29 years.
You went to go snitch on the police.
29 years. If my rent is paid every month, sometimes the month before. My intercom does not work. The number that was left for us to call if we didn't have intercom, it don't even work either. Also, the infestation of the mice.
Levi. Look at Levi. Look at him. He's running again. Look at him.
And I never had that. I know the exterminator came in once, but when are they coming back? Because I go out and I buy the stuff that I need to get my house clean, and I know it's a problem with some of the people that live in here, leaving their garbage and stuff. I take that garbage out. My husband takes that garbage out at times. We know that some of the people that was leaving the stuff, we have spoken to those people. We shouldn't have to do that. I think that management should be more, when they screen people to move in the building, make sure they're moving into the building. Because we have people that live here for a long time that truly care about the building. I come out and I sweep the hallway. I mop the hallway. A lot of us do that. So it's not always maintenance do that. We care about it. And maintenance need to care about the people that's doing the
Code enforcement has already got a punch list. So if there's more, they can get that other stuff, because in some apartments, they said they didn't get a chance to get into because everybody's not there. So when it's many apartments in the common areas, there's some areas that you can go to, apartments you can go to, you know, you have punch lists together, make sure you're on that. When it goes to municipal court, they have a certain amount of days to get fixed. You know, we're gonna put in a 10-day thing for them to get it fixed. If they don't get it fixed in that time, they have to pay a fine. And that'll happen continuously until it's done. We have the other piece of that, and I don't really like to do like this in public with the manager here and all that. It's not appropriate, but since everybody's out here doing whatever we're talking about. At the end of the day, we also have another opportunity to what we do in the other buildings. We go to everybody else, and we have about the law demands that we give them the opportunity to fix the problem. So
Since March.
that's why I'm saying we need to get the punch list and continue everything from roaches to rats to the cameras to the elevator to mold, the hot water. All that is on a punch list that they have to put into municipal court. We have a certain amount of time to get those things abated. they haven't abated in that time, then it'll be fine, right? The fine doesn't necessarily mean your stuff will get fixed though, by the way. So I just want to say that. It means that they have to pay a fine every time. So we did it in the fine, we get 10 more days and fine again. No, that's not how it works. They got the 10 days, they only got it at one time. And then they get fined every day after that. No, you don't get it. If they pay, let me say this too. If there are individuals here who have trouble paying, because you keep saying that, there is NJDCA, literally, Department of Consumer Affairs, you go online, you can sign up, and they'll help you pay your rent. The city of Newark also has programs in West Newark. We can help you do that as well. And they can also go on behalf of the resident and get the money from them on behalf of the residents at the same time. So we'll have a conversation with you if that's an issue about making sure we take care of some tenants so they're not evicted, so they get the money in your pockets. Hopefully, it'll help get some of this stuff.
We're still drinking
but
water.
Ultimately,
like $6.
we want to engage you so we get this stuff
That's the
fixed.
free water,
Doesn't
too.
benefit any of us that come to this building.
That ain't even his water, it's soda.
About stuff that needs to be fixed, right? So
Motherfuckers always find a way to cut a corner.
as quickly as possible. And we don't want to go to civil court, because let me tell you this, the civil court will demand that you put you in a hotel and pay for it until the place is fixed. That's a whole nother, so it's not like out of his goodwill, the civil court will say, listen, you gotta put these guys up until these things are fixed. And I don't know if you guys even want to be in that situation either. Right, so we need to figure out how to get this done.
So we gonna wrap it up. Right? We have code enforcement here again, as the mayor indicated, for all of those individuals that need to see them on the side to continue to add to this punch list. We also have some things that are going to happen within the next two to 3 weeks. We know the camera situation, the training about the door, make sure the folks get the right information on how to use the code, what they need to use to get into the building, repairing the back door again, making sure that that back door is done. And then, you know, we should give ourselves some homework too, right? As folks said here, like we can't keep letting people come through the door. We can't leave the door cracked open, right? We can't leave garbage in the hallway and take it out. We have to be more communal in here with each other. And then ultimately, again, the hope is that we create a tenant association, block association. We still want to be able to do that, to create this tenant association, block association, so that we can continue to meet with those individuals that want to engage, want to meet, to make sure that not just the building, but around the perimeter of the building is fine and everything is going well in the community. And then all of those things about, you know, creating phone chains and email links that we can be able to stay in charge of and engage with each other about matters and situations that are happening that's going on. Again, there was some information that was given out from the Office of Violence Prevention and Trauma Recovery. We're glad to have them here tonight. There was also some information given out for those individuals that may have issues paying the rent, consumer fare, and West Newark, and some programs that we may have that you can work with them through to help assist. And you can also come to 1017th Avenue for rental assistance. 1017th Avenue for rental assistance as well, so you can be able to do that.
This is a quick question. As your neighbor, who I don't live with here, but I've lived in apartments in my life, the fact that I don't see your number posted anywhere very quickly to call is a problem. And I don't live here, but as their neighbor who's with them, it should be a phone number posted all across this front block, and anyone can call it. I can understand the emergency number not being available for anyone unless they're a tenant, but the common number to call you, and that's not here. And even being next door, if there's an issue, I have to call you, and this is the first time I've ever seen you in March. That's the problem in itself. So my little things about what's going on outside, because everything affects them affects me.
See how you laughing?
Together, when they not happy, guess what? It spills out into all of us that it doesn't work well. All I'm asking is on their behalf, and everyone's some simple stuff. Phone number. A phone number to post that anyone can call you.
A phone number that anybody actually
Working on the folks that have by tomorrow is very simple. They can be able to reach out and get everyone the line when folks call. Listen, we want to thank you for coming out tonight. You know, to this meeting. This is not the last, right?